Who's here to celebrate the Baltimore Plunge? Woo! What an incredible day. Thank you everyone for coming out and either plunging with us, splashing with us, or watching. All of us jump in. We've worked, well, first let me welcome everybody, Mr. Mayor, Madam Comptroller, Councilman Conway, soon-to-be Councilman Mark Parker, Delegate Robin Lewis, Waterfront Partnership board members, Ira and Doug, Jonathan, James, David Bramble, Adam. I'm sure I missed one or two, I hope not. But we know we're all here to get in the water and have an incredible time, but we have to celebrate first. We've got to acknowledge those who helped us get to this point and what's next. So today's been 14 years in the making. You know how long? Woo, that's right. 14 years. I mean, in 2010, Taylor Swift had 3 albums out. Today, you know better than I do, but you know, Prince William and his kids are dancing with her, and Buckingham Palace is playing one of her songs. So we've come a long way. We wouldn't be here with a whole host of people, but first it's Mike Hankin, who will introduce in just a minute. Woohoo! And Adam Lindquist, our Vice President at Waterfront Partnership and head of all things Healthy Harbor, along with his team, Allison, Chelsea, Chloe, and the whole Waterfront Partnership team is here. Every one of our employees, Amber and Stacy and Aaron, Matt. Let me see, I'm going through the desks here. Make sure I don't forget anyone. Melody, Leanna, Marina. Did I forget anybody? I don't think I got everybody. Yeah, I got Chelsea. All right. So first, Mike is going to introduce Adam, but how many people stay in their jobs for 13 years? We are so lucky that Adam Lindquist has been head of Healthy Harbor and at Waterfront Partnership for 13 years. Every day, head down, sense of humor generally intact, pressing forward on whether we need to do monitoring or putting the eyeballs together for Mr. Trash Wheel in his in his basement. Anyone have some water? Thank you, Katie. This is Katie Pumphrey. You'll be seeing her soon. Okay. Thank you. But first, Mike Hankin. Mike was our first chairman of Waterfront Partnership back in 2005. After we had been working for about 4 years, had our feet off the ground, we're doing some good landscaping and cleaning and events. Mike pulled me aside. He said, "We will never be successful as long as we're working with our backs to the water." Remember that, Mike? And that was the beginning of our turning toward the water and visioning of what could be done with this water. So I'm not going to spill any secrets here. I'm going to let Mike take it away and talk about what he's done along with Adam and our Healthy Harbor team and so many of you. But Mike challenged us, coached us, encouraged us every day along the way. So Mike Hankin, we dedicate today to you.
It's pretty nice out, isn't it today? How often do you stand on the dock, Baltimore Harbor, on a day in June, as beautiful as it is, with a lot of people, good people, a Hinckley hanging offshore? I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Laurie, thank you. I'm going to be pretty brief. And I'm not going to talk about anything that I might have done, except to say that I'm a pretty stubborn person. And probably some Brown Advisory colleagues out there that confirmed it, but people have asked me how I got involved in this. And as Laurie said, it was just a case of looking around and saying, we can do better. We deserve better. We as citizens, as members of this community, deserve water and environment that looks like this today. And from there, things flowed. And for sure, there were really important steps or turns along the way. One of the first was that somebody in government a long time ago, a very long time ago, said to me, well, nobody cares about this. And I took a deep breath and I said, well, I don't think people know that there's something we can do about it. And as soon as we let people know that, you're going to see that people really care. And that's what led to the trash wheel, and Adam will talk more about that. But the reaction in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland, around the world to the trash wheel has been incredible. The reaction to this effort has been off the charts. The documentary that was produced when we jumped in September is nearing 500,000 downloads. 500,000 times on Instagram. That's up there, well, not with Taylor Swift, but with a lot of other things that are known for achieving great things around the world. So besides people knowing about, the second thing was the team effort on this has been incredible. And there have been people from city government, state government, nonprofits, community organizations, businesses. James, you and I have been together from the beginning. John, Laurie, these people have worked together. They've challenged each other. They've trusted each other. For the most part, they've been honest with each other. And that effort has led to everybody bringing up each person's game. Everybody's game has been better, and that's what it took. I'm going to introduce Adam now. Adam is it. Mayor, if there's a person that deserves getting the key to the city, it is Adam Lindquist. So, Laurie has a day job. I have a day job. Adam has had the hardest job. His day job has been to help make this effort. Not to do it by himself, but to lead the effort and bring everybody together. And it's been an honor to work along your side, Adam. So when we did the swim in September, I challenged people to show up today to make a stand. Tell people how much you care about it. And in 10 minutes, the whole thing was signed up. My guess is we'd given it 30 minutes, we would have had 1,000 people. Seriously, it's incredible. That is making a stand. So what I'd like to leave you with today is there's a lot of work to be done. Be demanding of each other, be demanding of the places where you work. Businesses need to show up. Be demanding of the environmental organizations that have some interest in this area. Make sure they stay focused and on what is important, what will get the job done. And be demanding of government too, city government, county government, state government. You know, they're here to help us, to help get this done. And Mayor, you showing up today, Brooke, it's a huge statement. So thank you both. So with that, the man behind the curtain, Adam Lindquist.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mike, for that, and Laurie for those very generous introductions and for your faith in me. Without that, I wouldn't be here today, and I've learned so much from both of you over the years, so thank you for all of your guidance. Mike mentioned that we made a little film. When we jumped in the harbor last year, about a dozen of us did a bunch of advocates and staff members jumped in the harbor, and we made a little documentary with the Alisana Collective. I don't know where Brian Morrison is here. He directed that film. Yeah, thank you, but even more impressive, last night we were at the Capitol Emmy Awards and it won an Emmy. So how often do you have a swimmable harbor that wins an Emmy? All right, well, you guys heard that I took this job 13 years ago. When I interviewed for this job, Lori told me they wanted to make the harbor safe for swimming and fishing. It was my first job offer out of graduate school, and I said, absolutely, I will swim in this harbor for this job, assuming I'm even still working here in 9 years. But as fate would have it, I was still working for Waterfront Partnership in 2020. And we were gearing up for a swim, but we all know what happened in 2020. The pandemic kept our feet dry until last year when we got serious about jumping in, thanks in no small part to the encouragement of our staff scientist, Allison Blood, who's around here somewhere. Thank you, Allison. In 2023, Allison and our intern Chloe Qualls collected over 700 water samples, April through October. They visited 5 sites, including this one, 5 days a week. Basically, every day the laboratory was open, we were bringing them samples. And they created the most comprehensive data set on bacteria in the Baltimore Harbor that anyone has ever seen. It was looking at that data that made it very clear that if it had not rained, the Baltimore Harbor was meeting the Maryland standard for swimming beaches close to 100% of the time. Armed with that knowledge, we picked a dry weekend last summer and about a dozen of us jumped in. And today we are all here to jump in again. We live to tell the tale. Now, we know there are skeptics out there. We see you in the comment sections. And to the skeptics, I would say we respect your opinion, but I would like to propose that your opinion should not be set in stone. Like the English philosopher John Stuart Mill said, beware the deep slumber of decided opinion. For the fatal tendency of mankind to leave off thinking about a thing when it is no longer doubtful is the cause of half of their errors. The harbor still has bad days, and there's still more work to be done, and we don't expect everyone to change their minds overnight. But today, I urge us all to reconsider our relationship with the Baltimore Harbor and acknowledge that things have changed. Today, we are giving the public perception of the Baltimore Harbor an overdue makeover, and we are hiring the best PR firm in Baltimore City to do it. And that PR firm is all of you. Today, with the help of water-loving Baltimore icons like Mr. Trash Wheel and Mr. Splash. Today, with 10,000 square feet of new floating wetlands being installed at the National Aquarium, and with 2 very enthusiastic river otters frolicking on those wetlands last week. And today, with ultra-marathon swimmer Katie Pumphrey, who's about to swim from the Bay Bridge to Harbor Place on Tuesday. And today, with the Baltimore Blueway, a network of water trails for paddlers that recently landed Baltimore on the New York Times list of 52 places to travel in 2024. And today, with a fishery that the Department of Natural Resources calls the best place in the entire Chesapeake Bay to capture or to catch rockfish. With all of that, today I would like to introduce you to your new fishable and swimmable Baltimore Harbor. As Brooke said, I don't want to steal your talking points, but we can do hard things. When you believe in yourself, when we believe in ourselves, we can make transformational change. It is possible. And in just a moment, we're going to move on to our next speakers, but before we jump in, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank the following organizations: Ultimate Water Sports and Hal Ashman, who will be providing on-water safety today. Thank you, Ultimate Water Sports. Thank you to Bowley's Quarters Volunteer Fire Company's Marine Emergency Team 21, who have paramedics and rescue swimmers. Should we need any of that stuff, we have our safety covered. I haven't seen him yet, but is Eric Schott out there? There he is. So I'd love to thank Dr. Eric Schott from the University of Maryland Center for Environmental Science at the Institute of Marine and Environmental Technology. Eric has been working with us for the past 6 years, studying water quality in the Baltimore Harbor. He was literally the first person to jump in. He was the first man off the dock last September. Thank you, Eric. And last but not least, I got to thank Chelsea Onspach one more time. She is our logistics coordinator. Thank you, Chelsea. I know you're over there at the tent. All right, well, I will be back up at the end of the remarks just to give us some follow-up instructions. But with that, I'd like to welcome back Lori Schwartz. Thank you.
Okay, so our wonderful comptroller, state comptroller, Brooke Learman, lives just a block away from the water. She's been an advocate of all things environmentally sound and safe for years. She sponsored the legislation for a statewide styrofoam ban, plastic bag ban. She might put Mr. Trash Wheel out of business. Let's try. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. And thank you, Adam. Oh my God, what a sight. I am so excited to be here. Good morning, everybody. My name is Brooke Learman. I'm thrilled to be the comptroller of the state of Maryland. I'm excited to be here both as a statewide elected official, but also as a Baltimore City resident, a mom who has lived downtown near the water for over a decade. I remember when this harbor challenge kicked off, and I am so excited to be here today. Thank you, Lori Schwartz, for your kind words and introductions. Thank you to the whole Waterfront Partnership team, Adam for your persistence, and to Mike for your leadership, and Mayor Scott for all that you have done to help get us here. You know, I'm not from Baltimore, but I got here as fast as I could. And when I moved here, it didn't occur to me to live any place other than near the water. This water centers the city. This water, it gives us our unique place on the eastern seaboard. This water has seen Baltimore's birth and followed it through wars and depressions and renaissance and rebirth. And a harbor that we can enjoy through recreation presents a new chapter in the life of the Baltimore Harbor. In a few minutes, we will all demonstrate physically the progress that we have made through our investments and commitment to restoration, as outlined in the Healthy Harbor Initiative, because we have an obligation to future generations to leave our water even cleaner than we inherited it. That's why, as a delegate, I champion legislation to clean this water. We passed the first statewide styrofoam ban in the nation. The city's passed its plastic bag ban. We passed state funding for water treatment, restoration of wetlands. We have invested millions in our parks and green spaces and tree canopy. All of Team 46, including Delegate Lewis, who's here, State Senator Bill Ferguson, State Senator Luke Clippinger, and Mark Edelson, all helped make this happen. And though I'm no longer a state delegate, I continue to champion funding for the harbor, and I'm the first state comptroller in the nation to have a climate resilience director in our office, dedicated, yes, to ensuring that we are being mindful of our building resilience and the climate impact in our assessment of spending and investments. Look, cities elsewhere around the country and around the world have demonstrated that clean urban waters are not just possible, but are imperative. We must have green space, clean waters, and healthy trees to ensure an ecosystem healthy for humans above the water and wildlife beneath it. And we will. We are going to leave our children a harbor that is cleaner, more diverse, and more teeming with life than we found it. Look, I often say and remind us all that Maryland can never be a truly great state until Baltimore City reaches its full potential. And here today, we are taking another step towards reaching that full potential. Thank you to everyone who helped get us here, and just as importantly, thank you to everyone who will continue to work to improve the ecosystem of the harbor and the bay. We'll be jumping in for 5 minutes today, but let's make sure that we can swim and play for hours in the years to come. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brooke. I love that vision, swimming and playing in the water for hours. So, Mr. Mayor, when we approached you about swimming in the harbor, there was not a hesitation. Our mayor, Mayor Scott, is the kayaking mayor. I was surprised you didn't kayak up here today, but we'll forgive you when you jump in. We wouldn't be here today without the city's efforts, without the mayor's efforts in cleaning up the sewage through the Back River treatment plant. Literally. I mean, we can thank you for cleaning up the harbor. And the ban recently, or the lawsuit against the plastic makers and distributors, incredible. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. Please come speak to us.
Thank you, Lori. I'll be quick because it is hot and I'm ready to get into the water. Good morning, Baltimore. Thank you all for being here on a very hot summer morning. And Lori, I wanted to kayak up, but I was out in Drill Park for AFRAM very late last night, So I'll be getting back there. I invite all of you to come out, enjoy. Today we have Maya, Morris Day in the Time, October London. Everybody is going to be at Fram. It was hot. Just drink water. But we are here today, and Lori, the question I've gotten the most is, Mr. Mayor, you're really going to jump in the harbor? And my first response is, you're going to get in that water? I said, well, how do you guys think I get in that kayak? That's not like a place where I get in the kayak and they drop me in the water without getting in the water. But it's gotten a lot of attention, and rightfully so. Some may be skeptical. I'll just say I've been kayaking in the harbor for like 6 years, and I'm still alive, so we'll be okay, everybody. But this is a day not to be overlooked. Because you're talking about a decade plus of work by everyone you saw. I want to thank Lori, I want to thank Mike, I want to thank Adam, and all the institutions and nonprofits who helped put the work in, to all of our team members at DPW, because so many people believed this was possible, but so many people believed it wasn't possible. And I'm going to be honest, if you would have asked me, would I be at 40 years old swimming in the harbor when I was 20, I'm like, yeah, I got a stadium I can sell you too, right? But we have to talk about what happens here in Baltimore consistently. People say that we can't, and we say we're going to show you not only can we do it, we can do it better than anyone else. And that's what this effort is. And yes, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of more things to overcome, and that's going to take that continued partnership of all of us working together to make sure this happens. We want Mr. Splash to be out here splashing people whenever he wants in the water, and not just in left field. But even though we have a lot of safety points that we have to take, and I'm going to mention this, everything from boat traffic to the weather will always impact what's happening here in the harbor. We want everyone to jump in and be safe. I'm so thankful that we're here today. It's hot, so I'm going to sit down and shut up and ask Dave and everybody else to be quick so that we can jump in the water and show everybody how far we've come in Baltimore, and recognize that we will get even better water quality in our harbor by working together each and every day. Thank you, and thank you, Baltimore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And our last speaker is David Bramble, who we thought was important for a couple reasons. One, his plans to transform the Inner Harbor include a lot of water-related uses, but also because as he would go out making speeches or talking to groups, when he would say he's not going to jump in the water, our phones would light up. And here we have a convert today, so please welcome David Bramble jumping in.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Bramble, as you just heard, and together with my partner, Peter, who's here someplace, who's also jumping in the water, we're the co-founders and managing partners at MCB, and we are definitely bullish on Baltimore. You know, I'm almost always dressed like this, but it's great to see all of you dressed like this today, too. So we invest all across Maryland and the country, but when Peter and I realized that we had a chance to take on a project that could change the future of Baltimore, we jumped at the opportunity. Not because it was easy, but because this is our home and the harbor is the heart of the city. I don't think anybody would deny that. So, as Lori said, it's been really interesting for us to go around the city and hear what people wanted to talk about the harbor. Different ages, different neighborhoods, different backgrounds, yet everyone understood, literally everyone, how important connectivity and the timelessness of the water. It is the critical element of our plan. So tens of thousands of Baltimoreans throughout our community engagement process have told us that enhancing our connections to the water and having a resilient design, designing for the next 100 years, Brooke, it is essential. So thanks to the efforts of the mayor and the city, the Waterfront Partnership, Mike Hankin, of course, and so many others, we are at an inflection point for our waterfront. Today demonstrates that a future in which Baltimoreans can swim and better enjoy the water is not only aspirational, but it's attainable, right? For that reason, we've included swimming areas and interactive spaces on the water in our plans for Harbor Place. Just imagine for yourselves for a second how amazing it will be for young people not only to visit the aquarium and ride a paddle boat, but to actually get in the water on a hot summer day. At MCB, we couldn't be more excited about the future of Baltimore. We are in a unique moment in this city where the stars are aligning for a prosperous future for our friends and families and neighbors, and days like today should reinforce that for everyone. Not only do we deserve that future, but thanks to the efforts of so many, it actually is within reach. So thank you everyone, again, who's worked to make today a reality. We're here in Baltimore, and let's do it.